Red alert, red alert. RBT snaps and chats. Hello, everyone. Coming to you today from Out of the Mud Inc., hosted by James Mayfield, Mayfield the greatest Mayfield, I should say, and George F. Grundy II. Give us a call while we're online today. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you cope with stress, work with your work life and your home life within a 24-hour period of time. I have some special guests here today. I have Sergeant Treadell Tree Kennedy over here. Come on, y'all, give him a hand. And then over here, I have E5, E4.
Yep, specialist.
Charlisa Kingsley over here. E4
Specialist. Yep.
Specialist. All right, well, let me get it together. I don't want to mess up nobody's world in here. And I'm your host, Charlisa McBride, a.k.a. RBT, which stands for Red Bone Trouble. So as we get ready to get into our daily conversation today with you all, I'm going to drop one of my little poems on you right quick. It's called Save My Soul.
Yeah, drop it.
A woman bites into an apple. A man shares his rib. A rule has been broken, and now a child lives. A message has been issued. A lesson needs to be learned. A soul has been saved, but we still crash and burn. Amen.
Amen.
So everybody out here has things in life that we have to deal with and go through. And right now, I'm going to say some questions that I have to ask you all. Join in with us, 248-820-5053. If you got something you want to say, hey, are we ready to hear that? We got some people online. We got George F. Grundy II over there ready to get them calls in for us. So go right ahead and do that.
That's right. Come on. Let's.
And I want to also say, thank you very much for being here with me today.
Yes,
and
I'm
thank
excited.
you very much for being here because I know you both have busy schedules. And as I said before, we're trying to see how do we cope with these things.
Thank you for having me. And shout out to Out of the Mud Inc. They have big things going on in the city of Flint.
Out of the mud, baby. Yes.
Out of the mud where we all come from. All right. Well, let's get right into this message, this heavy message for me to alert you all with today. So the first thing I want to know, and I want to ask this to Sergeant Treadell Tree Kennedy. I want to address him properly. What is your breaking point through the day when you run into an obstacle that challenges you, your mental thoughts, your physical thoughts, and your emotional thoughts? What is something that is a breaking point for you before you actually snap or get away from things?
I don't know. I think I spent a lot of time trying to avoid the answer to that question. So I'm not quite sure how to answer that. I mean, when you get to your breaking point, I think there's a lot of different obstacles or ways you can observe that, you're getting to a certain point. But, I think most people, you don't know your limitations if you don't know how to control, some of the things or barriers that may allow you to snap.
All right. Damage control.
Damage control.
Get on down before anything
Absolutely.
happens. All right. Well, Charlisa, how can you tell us how do you, what's your breaking point?
Oh, my breaking point. It's hard. What is a breaking point?
You're right.
At what I mean, it's got to be something. It's going to be something that gets you to that point where you say, you know what, I've had it.
When I'm constantly needed.
All
like
right.
when I'm just, everything's constantly through at me and the hurry up. Like I can only do one thing.
Yeah, but as a young mom, how can you avoid it though? How can you avoid it? See, you can't avoid it.
You can't avoid it because you can't avoid it. How can you avoid it? Because it's gonna notify. I just gave it.
Oh, you pause it.
Yeah.
Well, what my breaking point is for me is when I'm being ignored. I can't stand being ignored. If someone comes to me and they're looking for some advice or they have a question about something and I'm giving you the best answer I have, I feel like you either wasted my time And now I'm wasting your time because I'm getting my anxieties taken over because now I've given you the answer, but you've ignored it. And then you come back to me when it's done and over with, and you still got the same issue. I'm not saying I got all the answers and I don't have all the right tools to get somebody to where they're going, but a breaking point is a breaking point. I feel if you need someone and you ask them a question and they give you their best answer, they took their time to help you, you should at least acknowledge it.
Yeah, but don't you think life itself is full of breaking points? You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm finding a lot of people are trying to determine your breaking point for you.
That's absolutely true
Possibly.
too.
How do you know what's too much for me at that moment?
Exactly.
Could be that last straw, or I've just had enough for the day.
Right. And see, that's what we're coming to you today for. We're trying to figure out what you guys may have out there, that you got some answers to some of these questions. Give us a call in. Again, 248-820-5053. We're waiting to hear from you.
Out the mud.
Out
That's
the
what
mud
it is.
ink.
Out of
Yes.
the mud.
So Charlisa, when do you find time to rest in 24 hours with your work life, your home life, being a mother, being a sister, a aunt, a cousin, a friend? When do you find time to rest?
Well, the Army taught us how to take naps.
I just learned how to take naps. I used to never take naps.
That 15-minute power nap, that 5-minute power nap, have you feeling refreshed.
And I think we need that to rejuvenate ourselves because we're just like a battery.
Yes.
It gets low on sale and it runs down till it goes dead. And you have to figure out to recharge it. I used to have rechargeable batteries. You put them in this little unit and plug it in the wall till that burned out. It had enough
that
for me.
10 minutes is something, though. That little 15-minute power nap, it bring you back a little bit.
Is that how you would say you find time to get rest?
No. I mean, mine is kind of scarce. Sometimes for me, sleeping don't come easy. So, sometimes you might get, they might give you medication to help you sleep or to help you with nightmares or something like that. And I'm just talking because my sleep pattern probably wouldn't be the usual for most.
Okay.
So when they give you medication for it and they're trying to adjust that to see whether or not it works, that's just a whole different dynamic to sleep.
Yeah.
Because if it don't work, you got to deal with, what you got to dream about or your nightmares or whatever.
Then they got to give you something to take you off of that to get you better on a better track. And it's just a continuous cycle.
Yeah, but in between that cycle, you may not be getting enough sleep.
Exactly.
And then if it do work, you got to worry about the side effects, being drowsy the next day, how long it take you to get back to your full self.
And then you got to get used to CPAP or whatever because of the other anxieties or problems or issues. So
exactly. And
for somebody like me, it's a little different.
Okay. All right.
For a soldier who's suffering from PTSD or sleep anxieties or nightmares or whatever, their situation, it may be a little different than most, but it's the other issues that come along with it.
All right.
That they ought to be aware of. Everybody should be aware
Everybody should. I find time to rest within, like Charlisa said, a 15-minute nap here and there. Maybe on my lunch break, I might take a quick little nap if I'm really tired and I need that rejuvenation. I'm just trying my best to make sure that every time I'm out in the world or in the public and doing anything, that I find time to reset myself so that I'm able to function properly, because you don't want to walk around here like a zombie.
But how many people do you reset yourself for, honestly? And
reset myself for? Oh, just me.
Grandbabies?
No.
Everybody. I got a costume myself.
Here we go again.
I only reset myself for my grandbabies because this is the main reason. They need a lot of attention from someone that's going to be right there to care for them more.
Yeah.
And when you got grandbabies, that's like your child to the second power. You do different things with grandchildren that you didn't do with your children. That's how I feel.
I agree.
So
I agree. That's why you always reset, because they're going to hit something different. They're going to hit something different.
That's right.
Because they can't take care of themselves yet for the most part. So, that's going to always hit different. Yeah.
Okay, in daily life with working and living your life at home, how do you have a support team when you find time, or not when you find time, when you don't find the time to relax or sit back? Do you have a support team with, who you talk to ease your mind a little bit?
You know what? Back in when I first started off in my venture, as far as veteran stuff and getting out here and getting back on my own, trying to survive back through COVID. I lost my mother prior, my sister after.
Sorry to hear that.
So my circle kind of small. So it's almost like everybody who I bring into my life is a blessing. So all of those relationships to get that close, that's special to me. So in itself, yeah. Okay. So that gives me some peace and comfort.
All right. And how about you, Charlisa? How do you have a support team?
I have a few select support people. I believe in therapy.
Okay.
I believe in therapy because, they are an outsider. They are not attached to your situation.
Okay.
So they can give you a objective opinion without necessarily being affected by your actions.
Absolutely,
that's cool.
Yeah.
For me, my support team would be my daughter, my good friends, my good girlfriends that hang out with me. They're the ones that I can release some stress to by talking and get it off my mind. A lot of times I have a conversation with my son. Sometime when I'm having a conversation with him, though, sometimes it get a little different because his views is a little different than mine. I just want him to understand that as a working mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a sister, a cousin, a good friend, sometimes we just need somebody to listen to us. And I feel that from him too. Sometimes he just want me to listen and not be a mom that day. And I'm learning to do that more. So
interesting.
Yeah, because I need that as support, because you don't want to break down every time you go somewhere, because I'm an emotional person. I don't want to break down every second of the moment.
I get it.
I just put my Superwoman face on before I came in here. Today was a rough day. Yeah. I was crying and everything.
I'm hoping after today's show, you get some people that calling in 248-820-5053. We need you guys to call us and let us know some of your thoughts. What do you do to deal with this stress? We're Out of the Mud Inc. today from George F. Grundy II and James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield. They're allowing us to do this, man. This is something wonderful in the city of Flint. So if you are a Flint, and shout out to my girl Marjorie Marquita, Michigander. If you're a Michigander, then you understand what we're all going through.
Wait, before we go any further now, we have to acknowledge the fact that Michigan beat Ohio State. Now, how can we go through a show and not say that?
Well, I'm all good. I'm a Michigan State fan, so
regardless,
it's a little different.
Regardless, they didn't even have the decency to say our name the whole time leading up to the game. They just said that team up north. So we represented no matter what. I mean, I just wanted to say that. We got to give a shout out.
Well, we'll give a shout out to them.
Anytime Michigan beats
another city, state,
Ohio State.
Oh yeah,
that's a big
thing. That's a big deal.
That is, because I went to one of their games once in my life, and it was slapping.
They fire, man. Tailgates is fire.
I know. So, Charlisa, what's your favorite go-to that gives you that woosah moment?
My favorite go-to?
Yeah, do you go to the movies? Do you like to go out swimming? I heard you say something about that earlier. Do you go work out? Something to give you that, had to do this to get through my day.
Well, right now, to get through my day is my herbal medicine. But, for real, that helps me. That's how I relax. That slows me down because I have 1,000 things going on in my brain at once sometimes.
Okay.
And, now it's like, I can relax.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
All right, Mr. Sergeant Trudell Kennedy. What's your favorite go-to that gives you the woosah moment?
Sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the times, right? I hit it's a Matrix moment, right?
Oh, shoot.
When you hit that little Matrix moment, when you complain.
You don't take the red or the blue pill, do you?
I don't know. I might
you hitting the Matrix.
But when I'm playing cards, right?
Oh, yeah.
When I hit that Matrix moment, that everything just lined right up, and you just.
And I witnessed that.
Nobody can do it.
Oh, man. I've seen it happen.
Hey, man, in that particular
And
zone,
you're not kidding, because I've seen that happen, and I said that he trained the cards.
the card whisperer.
Yeah, he's the card whisperer. I'm telling you.
Or what about them dominoes?
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, the dominoes a little different.
Yeah, that's a little different. I'm cold with that too, but I owe some people a whooping though. Yeah.
You don't talk about me though.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. My favorite go-to woosah moment is to music and writing, and I love the karaoke.
What music?
Like
though?
Country music.
Oh man,
you know me. I'm country music. Country music relaxes me. Like when I'm having a bad day, or if I'm upset, or I've been crying, or my heart been hurt, whatever it is. If I put me on some good country music and give me a pen and paper, and I'm sitting there, and next thing I know, I get in the groove and my spirit back activated, and I'm doing well.
That Anthony Q though, man.
Oh
man,
yeah,
that's
I turned him on to that.
Yeah, she let me hear that one. I was like, oh, this is cold.
Yeah, he
changed the whole momentum. I was like, oh, this is a cold cut right here.
I got a lot of good
Eric
music.
Tom, the speaker, the motivational speaker.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right, and nothing wrong with that. Again, what do you all cope with out there? I'm not sure if you've been tapping in yet, but 248-820-5053. You can hit us up online under the Out of the Mud Inc. on Facebook. We're here today, hosted by James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, and George F. Grundy. I got my special guests here, Charlisa Kings Kyle. And I have Sergeant Tredell Kennedy. I like saying that because he like the boss to be a boss man. Yeah, he deserve it. He deserve it. I really like that. So I have more questions for you all. So my next one is for you, sir.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Okay. Does being around a lot of people give you anxiety or joy?
I get anxiety. You know, I don't necessarily have a lot of joy and when I'm in crowds or anything like that.
Okay. So the holidays and shopping and all that just drives you batty.
I can do it, I can do it, to a certain level, but at some point, I'll have to I will have to just think about, something a little different. Maybe I take my anxiety meds or something like that, and then when I'm in that crowd, then I can function the best way I can.
Okay.
So
Charlisa?
it's a little hard sometimes though.
Does being around a crowd of a lot of people give you anxiety or joy?
It depends on the crowd.
Okay.
It can give me anxiety. Yes, it can. I do find myself now liking to be alone.
Is this had something to do with because you was in the service for a while, or is it something generally that you always have been this way?
I have always been this way, but the service has intensified it because you have to realize I went into the military at 17.
I remember that from our first podcast.
Yeah, so I've always, so when I've been jumped before, all type of stuff. So I'm always scared to go in big crowds.
I feel you. For me, I'm the same as them too. I have anxiety in a large crowd of people. However, I tone down my anxiety if there's music because I like to dance. So if the music on, and I know sometimes my daughter be like, Mama, what are you doing? I'm like, girl, I be doing my old school dance. I love doing my little hip hop old school stuff from back in the 80s and 90s. But hey, that's me.
I'm rocking.
Yeah, that's just me.
Zone.
Yeah, I'm in my zone. So, but I'm feeling good about it, and it keeps me active, and it keeps my mind fresh and moving. So I don't have to worry about the crowd of people around me. Because if I didn't listen to the music, it always works. Because I can tell you right now, when it don't work, that's when I leave. That's when I leave. So it works up until I leave. Yes, not a problem. So, Tredell, how often do you get upset with different issues that life throws your way that get you out of control, makes you act out of control?
I don't know. I think I look at things in its severity. I mean, say for instance, I got a letter today, and I just share this with you, and this just got me to the point where, I got to say something public, or I gotta let the citizens of Flint know. Well, not here nor there. That is a whole show if I got on that. Okay. But it came from Napoli. So Napoli is the attorneys that's over a portion of the water crisis for the city of Flint.
That water issue.
It was the letter that came that was disqualifying my mother for not having a complete file. Now, keep in mind, my mother passed away in 2018.
Okay.
They're aware of that. So that just blew me out to a whole nother level. Like, what is this, man? How is the city of Flint allowing this to go on?
Exactly. I think a lot of the things that go on in our city can be easily resolved if the higher above people realize that if this was your family member, what would you do?
Yeah.
How would you respond if it was your family member?
Right.
What actions or measures would you take if your family member was one of the people on the opposite side of that?
Yeah.
And I think if they went into their daily life looking at it as if, we're in this city together, we're all one as a people. Why we can't make this happen?
Yeah, but think about it, man. They're trying to disqualify somebody who was deceased prior to the requirement. So how can they ever fulfill the requirement if they were deceased?
Exactly.
So it don't make sense. So your reason for disqualification is simply because you're trying to save more money for the attorneys.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds like.
You don't want to pay out. And so the people who should be protecting us aren't. So that just drives me crazy. They may do a little citywide conversation for a second, but then they'll go right back and be like, well, we don't know anything. We'll let you know in 3 months.
Exactly. Like, and they know already.
They're kicking the ball on down the road. So sooner or later, we're going to quit complaining about
That's what they do.
And give up.
Speaking of that, my son, and I'm not putting his business out there, but he been dealing with a situation. And with this situation, the friend of the court started sending mail to my house with the last name was McBride. And the first name was my son's middle name. And the middle name was my son's. The first name was my son's middle name, and the middle name was my son's first name, but it wasn't my son altogether. The first name was spelled a little different than my son's middle name.
Wow.
So but everything that my son been going through was on this paper, but the name wasn't his name.
Imagine that.
And I was like, and I called him, and I screenshotted it on my phone and texted to him, the lady, one of the clerks, and I said, hey, how is this mail coming to my house from my son? But it is his first, middle, and last name, but it's the first and middle name has been swapped. But there really is a person whose first name is like my son's middle name with an E on it, except,
So somebody might be stealing his information. It might be a little more sinister than that.
That's what I'm saying. And how is it that these officials and these people, and I mean, on the job that I do, I've been there for 28 years. Heaven forbid I send a wrong proposal to the wrong company. Asking for, or the wrong bill to somebody. I'm making my company look bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if a person is doing your paperwork, if you're not on your game doing your paperwork, you're affecting not only the lives of the people that's on that paper, but the lives of the people that is in that office with you, because it's going to make the whole team look bad. Mm-hmm. Why would you make your team look bad? So how would you do it, Charlisa? How do you control it?
How do I control it?
Yeah, or how often do you get upset with different issues in life that get you out of your character, out of control?
Every day? No.
Yeah, no. For real. I mean, I have a big family. I'm the second oldest of 9 on just my mother's side.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of personalities. That's a lot of chaos. That's hard to... So sometimes I got to put them all out.
Okay. Well, once again, that's why we're here today. Again, the lines is open, 248-820-5053. We'd love to hear from you. We're on here doing RBT, snaps and chats, red alert, alerting you all what's going on in our lives and in the city.
And shout out to Charlisa on her Faith Through Poetry, man.
That's right, Faith Through Poetry.
I got this book, Faith Through Poetry, God's Will. I got this book from her, and the very first poem, The Love of a Mother. And y'all, I wanted to cry because I am a mother.
Mm-hmm. And I know any mother can, feel that. I appreciate that so much.
That's 100.
I am a mother.
That's 100.
Yes. And I am also an angel mother.
All right.
And them angel babies. Shout out to my niece. She just told me the other day, maybe my baby Jada, that was one of my twins' names that I lost. Maybe she gave me the courage to get my voice back.
All right. All right.
Man.
Yeah, I feel that.
I feel like you just gave me
You
chills.
got it back.
She gave me
Aw.
chills.
You got it back.
And I'm trying to use that.
You got it back.
And
That's right.
thank y'all.
No.
I've met these wonderful people here on this show.
I really, truly
And the
appreciate that.
hosts and owners, and y'all are a great support system. Keep doing what you're doing for your community.
All right.
Yeah.
Out of the Mud Inc. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
sure. George F. Grundy
Out of the
II.
mud.
James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield. Y'all doing y'all thing. And I really appreciate you.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share
That's right.
the video.
Yes, please.
And don't forget Veterans of Now.
Do not forget Veterans of Now, because they not just Veterans of Now, but the veterans himself too.
Yeah.
They all together in this community here, and a lot of them need us to support them as well. So get out and support your local veteran and Veterans of Now, please.
Yeah, veterans organizations in general. For
Yes.
sure.
No soldiers left behind, man.
Better believe
I actually have on my bracelet right now today, from Staff Sergeant Carlo Greer. We kind of joined at the same time, same recruiter.
Wow.
You know, and he was one of the fallen. 22 a day, suicide is too many.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
too
many.
Sure.
That's right.
And I'm here for my brothers and sisters. We are here. You are not alone.
Not alone.
Who was your recruiter anyway?
John Graham.
John Graham. No, I don't know John Graham. I thought it was
Johnny Boy.
Anthony Crawford.
No,
Okay.
no, Staff Sergeant. He was right there on Chavez.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Charlisa, I got a question for you.
What's your question?
Do you think you have a good solution to level out your life? Because for me, I say at every level you meet the devil, no matter where you at in life. And when I say devil, I don't mean like an entity. I mean like the spirit of a bad situation, or a person that's trying to tear you down when you're trying to move up, or somebody that's steady tugging at your coattail, interfering with everything you do. It's always an entity or something in life that's stopping a person from going to the next level.
Man, your mind is your biggest enemy.
And there you go.
That is it.
Y'all
right
hear that,
there.
right? I know y'all hear this.
If you can control your mind, you can control a lot of stuff in your life.
Exactly. Self-meditate. Yes. What about you, Trudell?
I don't know. The mind is the devil's playground. That's what they say.
Yes.
But I would definitely say, sometimes your mind is a terrible thing. You know? That imagination is what it is.
It is. And that's the biggest nation in the world, imagination.
You better believe it. What do you do?
What I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. I don't know, because at every level, when I say I meet the devil, I got to figure out a way to defeat him and stomp on him and rebuke him and keep moving. But I never know what I'm going to do at that moment until that moment comes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hard thing to discern, to discern with, but we got to do it, right?
Yes.
If we want to be leaders and in control and balance out our life, we got to figure it out. I'm not a soldier, but I'm a soldier for the Lord. So I'm on the battlefield every day. I'm doing what I have to do. Issues is the same.
The issue is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The outcome might change, but that issue still going to be the issue.
Trudell, is there anything you can let our listeners know that will help them balance out anything in their life, or is like work, life, anxiety, family, relationships? Just quick little something.
For me, you're always evolving, you're learning something a little different, a little bit more. For me, I'm learning how to take a little time for myself.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas,
that's huge.
Me too.
Whereas before, I used to just give, and didn't make a lot of time for me. So now, my suggestion with anybody is to, take a little time, get in your own mind, and just let everybody else go for a minute.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that solitude.
Let them go. I mean, sometimes some of the best things can happen to you in life if you just be quiet.
Take a step back.
Sit down, meditate.
Some boundaries. Establish some boundaries.
Yeah, I self-imposed it to myself. I said, okay, I'm going to get off of cable for a minute. So
really?
I
don't have cable anyway, but
I mean, I don't even have Fire Stick, nothing. I'm just like, I light me a fire and I'm just chilling, like
focus.
Yeah.
How about you, Charlisa?
I'm trying to figure it out right now. I'm going through a new transition, the new baby, the kid, the 6-year-old. He's used to being the only child.
Ooh, I bet that's something, ain't it?
Yeah, so he's very demanding of his mom, and I set some high expectations, I guess.
Yeah.
So I have to take that time for myself. Usually I reward myself with one vacation a year. I know I'm going to take this one vacation for sure. One for just myself.
Okay.
That don't include the kids.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So that I look forward to that all year. I work hard all during tax season and whatever else work. And I'm like, okay, after this,
let's say your chips up and I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm out here.
Right. Well, what I can say to our listeners is just like what both of these two beautiful people said. You have to take time off for yourself. That's the only way you're going to balance out anything in your life. You have to shut down or shut out certain things and certain individuals so that you can be able to regroup and regain yourself and reset.
For you.
Stay
and
away
15-minute nap.
For sure.
As something, and then take some time out for yourself, vacation, spend a little money on yourself, take yourself out sometime.
Self-care,
self-care.
That's the new thing, self-care. I didn't know nothing about it, but it do matter.
It does matter.
You feel a little bit better when you take that extra moment.
Yeah, I got a fresh cut today. I'm feeling good.
All right, you're looking good. All right, sir.
I'm feeling
got your little
good.
salt and pepper going on there.
Little salt and pepper.
I'll be bleaching my salt and pepper.
Look, I was looking crazy before I walked in here, so I got ready in the car. Had the rollers in my hair.
That's exactly
what like I'm good now.
So that's how you're balancing out things, but you're making it more of a not just a tedious task, but you're making a habit out of doing something different or bettering yourself by saying, "Hey, I got to get there. I got to do this. So this is what I got to do."
Yeah.
So you're making decisions. You're balancing
all the time.
I like that.
All the time.
All right. Can you tell me one thing that makes you happy?
One thing that makes me happy. Ooh, that's my kids.
There you go. I was going to say seeing my grandbaby smile. Being with my grandbabies makes me happy. I'll tell you, they get on my nerves sometimes. They run amok through the house. They tear it down. But when they're not there around, I feel lost, lonely, and that, the depression of anxiety, knowing that, where are they? What are they doing? Are they okay? I go through that phase in my mind because they make me happy. They bring me joy. And even when I'm trying to write and they're making noise, I don't give them a hard time because I know that this is their way of expressing themselves and their love to me. And I love that. I really do. What makes you happy? That's okay.
Well, I mean, for me, I say it's not just one place. It could be a person. Matter of fact, it is a person. Pamela Thomas, the city of Cincinnati, Atlanta makes me happy.
All right.
But Pamela Thomas, I think that makes me happy.
All right. Okay. Nice to know that. All right. Yeah. What triggers you?
What triggers me?
What trigger? Which one?
Yeah, I got a lot of triggers.
Any trigger. Because it may be one of our listeners out there that has a trigger that's somewhat similar to yours or his or mine, that they may want to know what you say about that, or they may call in 248-820-5053. Call in, let us know.
This could be an interesting subject right here.
Yes.
What?
The trigger. One of them.
People wasting my time. When they say they on their way and they don't come. Because in the army, it's like, hurry up, and wait. So they be rushing you to do some shit, and then you be waiting for like 5 hours before you even get to do it. Like, man, I could have been still asleep. And they ain't gonna let you take no nap. They on your ass. Like, land area beautification.
I ain't never been in the service.
Let's go do something. Yeah. We gotta look busy. Like, oh my God.
What about you, Trudell?
Oh man, this right here.
The phone.
This right here, man.
My alarm triggers me.
I think because of the phone, I think a lot of stuff is just bananas because everybody think you should be a slave to a phone. And you
always say that.
Instant gratification.
That I will never be.
He always says
you
that.
got some people who the first thing they say, oh, you ain't answering my phone call. I was like, nah. If it was that important, you could have knocked on the door. It's like, what do you do? Because you might be in the middle of a football game. You might be in the middle of a car game or whatever. I didn't pick it up. I'm intense someplace else right now.
You being
that's a very good answer.
You off with this. They piss you off talking about, well, you ain't pick up the call.
And then you get the angry text messages.
Well, what did you want? I wanted to know what you were doing. I wasn't on the phone. That's what I was doing. I wasn't being on the phone.
You know what? I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of that. Yeah. That might be one of my triggers that I kind of overlook. It gets overshadowed by other things because sometimes I'm really busy, even when I am doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
My phone's been ringing. If they were online, they'll see that I'm online.
But they ain't privy to this unless they online watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
They're not privy to it. So they sit up there and they'd be like, "Oh, you ain't pick up, but you ain't know I'm doing a podcast.
Right.
I'm out the mud right now.
I'm out the mud.
Yeah, but they don't get it. They don't get it. But when you let them know, okay, I was doing it, then it wasn't an issue anyway. What did they?
Right.
You wanted to know if you had something for them to borrow.
Yep. And like I said, I don't know if this is a trigger, but this is something. Somebody said to me, one of my cousins, she said, don't be surprised if the people that's close to you, family, friend, whatever, don't support you the way you're looking for them to support you. And I didn't really understand what she meant by that, because then she said, it's going to be the people that you don't know that's going to be the ones that's standing up for you, supporting you, being right there. And I promise you, I'm starting to see that now. And I'm not famous or anything. I'm a very humble person. I don't try to live above my means. I don't try to live below them either.
Well, maybe they see the fame coming out of you, so they hate
I don't know.
early.
I guess so, but I don't know. I don't want them to. I want them to know that I'm still me. I'm not going to change on nobody.
But maybe they just see something coming that you don't see, and they just hating early. Let them get it on out the way.
Let them get it out the way.
Let them get it out the way.
Man, sometimes that stuff be tried. That's my trigger. It make me want to go back to my old ways. And I'm trying to be a righteous person, and so I have to, what Martin Luther King said, turn the other cheek.
Well,
I got to turn around and get away from some of that.
I think just me. I think they blocking their blessing. It's okay.
That's true.
At least you know you got their attention.
That's true. Right. That's true. That's true.
So we have LeBeau Matthews. Said, "What up, KK?"
Hey, Bo.
And then said, "Talking about range day or convoys." LOL.
Talk about
those are the things that trigger them, I guess.
Oh, okay. I don't know that jargon, that language, but I know these two people do. What does that mean?
Convoys? Oh, that's when you all line up and go out, and you ever seen the military trucks on the highway?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a convoy.
That's a convoy.
Oh, okay.
When you all...
Yeah. He said that's one of his triggers?
When you're moving as a unit.
Okay.
He said, I guess they were talking about you, Charlisa. She's spitting straight flat facts.
Thank you very much to the listener, the caller in that said that. I appreciate it. I took some real pride in asking these questions to these lovely people here, because I'm red alert, RBT snaps and chats, here to get the message out to you. I want to alert you all to let you know what other people are going through, that you are not alone. And by all means, if you got any instances about something you're going on, this is a good book right here. And I'm not only saying that because it's my book, but this book I still read. It helps me. I don't know where a lot of the feeling and emotion and the poetry of this come from, but I know it was a gift from God, and I'm going to keep on doing what I do.
You better believe it.
I'm going to keep on doing it. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. I got another question here.
Uh-oh. Who get this one first?
Charlisa.
Okay.
Yeah, load her up.
Do you get emotional often, and if so, why?
Yes, I get very emotional. I'm still grieving.
All right.
I'm still grieving for the loss of my children.
For sure.
I'm blessed. I just had my rainbow baby in June. I didn't even know I was going to be able to have another one.
Okay.
But to still lose a child, I don't care how much training, anything I've been through, that was my breaking point. That was the hardest moment of my life.
Okay.
That's deep, man. I love that.
What about you, Trina?
Me what? I forgot the question.
Do
I
you
was
get
so immersed in
emotional?
what she was
I
saying.
know.
Yeah.
I wrote it all crazy trying to get my answer out. You touched me with that.
I was immersed in it. I was like, oh man,
Do you
that's
get
deep.
emotional? Do you get emotional often, and if so, why?
Uh, I'm more if I am emotional. Normally, it's I'll be by myself. I wouldn't necessarily show it in front of somebody. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure I am. You know, I think especially during the holidays and things like that, I get emotional not having my family around.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's definitely always one of them points where you be like, wow.
Wow, that's awesome. For me, I do get emotional often, and the reason why I get emotional is because I feel like I carry a lot of people's issues in my soul and in my heart, and I'm such a giver and a good person, and I believe that the divine power covers me, but I want to be able to cover other people.
Yeah.
And so when I'm around people that have issues, whether they tell me or not, my soul cries. And sometimes I walk away from them and I let a tear or two out. And sometimes I get really emotional where I have to go and regroup myself because I'm feeling their pain.
You're an empath.
Yeah.
What?
Empath.
Empath? I didn't know that. But I do. And sometimes I could be talking about a situation. My mom, who I miss dearly, that gets me emotional. When I talk about my grandbabies, I'm emotional. See about this. It's coming in my voice now. Let me get myself together
season,
here.
You know, it's the holiday season.
And it's the holiday season.
Emotional. You know?
Yes. And it's stressful.
Yeah.
It gives you anxiety. It's stressful. It's emotional. It gives you joy. All these emotions that we go through, we have to figure out the balance in our life within a 24-hour period of time, because these things, everything we just discussed, happens within a 24-hour period of time. So that's daily. That means you don't have 2 or 3 days and then, now you finna get the letter in the mail, or this day you finna, think about your Jada, your baby. You don't judge a time frame when that happens. It can just happen at any moment.
Yeah.
So within the 24-hour, we have to learn to balance ourselves and sit down and really regroup and rethink about what we're doing.
And it's hard. It's hard. You do, because grief. People like, oh, you should be over it by now.
Right? How you can't tell nobody when to be done grieving. I'm sorry.
You can't have another baby.
You can't do that. That's a void that you can never fill.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff that makes you kind of ticked off a little bit when you think about life and how things come off. I heard something the other day, and I was just thinking about whether or not I was going to put it out there, or what kind of friend would I be if I did or if I didn't. And I was like, man, how you breach a conversation like that? And I was actually out of town, and y'all don't mind if I just stray off just for a second. I heard that. Well, I'm gonna just ask a question. Grundy, I got a question for you. Is it true that you're about to be homeless?
That's a very impactful question that you just asked me.
I need an impactful answer because I'm disturbed by it.
I'm getting ready to move.
Okay.
And I'm the way my bank account set up, I don't have the ability to get in a place that makes sense.
I get it.
So
I get it.
I
get it. When you hear things secondhand, sometimes information is kind of skewed. And I was like, man, I would have knew something like that.
Well, let me, because now that you didn't put it out here, so a lot of this is compressed issues that I had since the house was stolen from me over on Court Street.
I remember that. You had got it from Habitat, right?
I was in a program with Habitat.
I remember that, yeah.
And I went through a battle with that. They made approximately about $400,000 off my back of being a veteran. And it helped them fund different things they were doing. Even General Motors was involved with it. They actually gave Habitat a vehicle.
They actually put you in a position to be.
So I had the house.
Yeah.
And then they didn't create the opportunity for me to get a mortgage. There were more issues than there were solutions. And it was costing more than what they told me it was going to cost based on their numbers. And so I was, struggling here and there, trying to keep it together, and then had to go to court, had to file bankruptcy.
Okay.
Some people from the community got together and they created the opportunity for me to pay the house off.
Right.
And when I was in court, the director of Habitat at that time looked me dead in the face and said, "George, we don't want your money. We just want you out the house."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So with that said, I've been using storage since 2018, had my stuff in storage, had bills, and because people helped me, I had to borrow things, all kinds of stuff, trying to figure out how to move forward. So I still have things from my past that kind of had me crippled, because if you didn't have the resources in the first place, where are you going to get them from in order to do whatever? So,
so it
everything
puts you in a bind, right?
It's keeping me in a bind.
Yeah.
So, and then my current living situation is very uncomfortable because of other issues.
Well, so, I mean, we ain't got to go.
Yeah, I'm not, because it involves other folk. Yeah. But it's uncomfortable space, and it's become way too uncomfortable for me to just stay.
Well, I just wanted to say, I'm the kind of brother, when I hear something like that, I just want to come to the source. Hearsay, I don't play. So I had to come to you. So
yeah. You didn't blast me out.
No, I care about you. I ain't blasting you out.
When people care about you, they talk.
I ain't blasting you out.
I
mean, we put it out there, so if anybody heard it from anybody else, they heard it from you. They ain't blasting you out. I don't want to get out there no other way. I got too much respect for you for that. That's why when I heard it secondhand, I was like, I'm gonna be here with my man. So, you got my support all day, every day, whatever you want.
I need VA support. I need them to give me a HUD badge voucher.
Well, hey, and I believe you should get it as well. I believe you should get it as well, man. That's what it's all about, man. And it's out there for you. That's the crazy thing about it. If you look at some of the legislation that's out there right now that dictates that they can't take your Social Security and your VA benefits as part of his income, then that would mean that a brother like in your situation is indigent.
Well, the way my life is set up with the VA, I had community care and I got a bill.
Well, what we're gonna do right there, we're gonna clarify the system and just ask the right questions.
But the VA, so one good thing about the Flint CBOC is that they have new blood there from outside of Michigan. Mm-hmm. And they look at the world differently, and it's so different that it's like sunshine talking to these people. And I'm like, where did you live? Where were you coming from?
Right.
Like,
right.
Pause, no Diddy. So all I'm saying is that it's a different mentality for some people. And so what I told one of my counselors dealing with my mental health stuff, I said, you know what they call us over here on this side of Michigan? And she kind of paused. I said, they said we Skid Row. They said if you're from Pontiac, Saginaw, Detroit, or Flint, you consider Skid Row veterans. And this ain't something that I got from somebody from my era. This is what the Vietnam era veterans said.
Oh, wow.
This is the experience that they have had and that they've passed along.
That's why we got.
And so if you're on the other side of the state, it's like, wow, you in Miami, you getting all the sunshine, love, and everything, and you get all the resources you need.
And we got the struggle over here.
And they looking at us like, nah, y'all all poor degenerates that really didn't serve. You served, but it doesn't matter that you served.
Well, they might feel that way, but
that's the feeling. That's the overall feeling that I got from the old heads that told me this is their experience.
That's why they got people like us, and you got shows like this to change that dynamic.
With all these powerful questions.
A lot of the questions that she talked about today goes hand in hand with your experience. Definitely mine.
Mine too.
Yours. So, I mean, the show is bananas. I mean, y'all got to tell them your name again.
Redbone Trouble.
And what's
RBT.
Book right here?
Faith Through Poetry. Now, my name is Charlisa McBride, but, RBT is a little nickname for Redbone Trouble. I don't live up to the trouble, but I'm the good kind of trouble you like to get into. Trust me. You want to be a part of this situation. Red alert, red alert.
There it is.
Well, I want to, that was very powerful. And thank you for acknowledging the situation that's going on with a lot of the veterans here in the city of Flint, and also our very own in this department right now, Out of the Mud Inc. Yeah. I feel that our gratitude to you should show the world enough to know that you mean something to some people. I'm very thankful first and foremost, for your organization, you and James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, George F. Grundy II, for allowing me, myself, to display my talent, my work, and also to be able to host and talk to beautiful people who have other things going on in life that other people may not know. You know, I don't know how many, I think a lot of people know you in the city of Flint. No. Maybe you too. I'm not sure. I know a lot of people don't know me because I was a bookworm. I stayed in the book, stayed in school. I didn't get out much. I am around now. People starting to repeat my name and say stuff. I appreciate that. I love y'all for that. But right now, I got something I want to drop for you one more time.
Let's do it.
Snap, snap, snap. This is called The Struggle. And I think this goes right along with what we're talking about today. The struggle. The Lord will put signs in your path each day as you get older. He knows the weight of the world is resting on your shoulders. He wants to get your attention and he wants you to keep your faith through the good and the bad. However, to show you love him, you will give up your last, or will you, if you had? The struggle has no name. It has no color. The main reason why we need to be kind to one another. When I read Proverbs 11:17, I now understand what it means. It says those who are kind will benefit. So you know those who undermine truly need to repent. The struggle is real. Remember the life of Job. He kept his faith throughout all of his woes. When God blesses you, just know he will allow the devil to test you. The struggle is temporary. It can result in growth. Do not be provoked by the ways of man. Listen to the heavens and God's plan to rejoice and receive his yoke. Philippians 4:13 is a sincere message and is not a joke. Romans 5:3-5. Our pain is our purpose. Let the Lord have his way while you are alive walking on this surface. The struggle will always be accompanied by the feelings of despair. Our trials is preparation and growth. We must suffer, taking the oath to do God's will until our life ends. Jesus suffered for us all. He lived and died without sin so that we may rejoice, be reborn again, and love and live again. Amen.
Amen. That was beautiful.
Thank
that
you.
was
very much.
absolutely beautiful.
It's the
That's
struggle.
going to be in the book, or you already?
That is going to be in my next book called Letters to My Lord. Who am I? Because that's what I ask myself every day. Who am I? What's my purpose? Why do I have to struggle? What is it that I need to do? I know now that the main thing I need to do is have faith. I need to have faith because without that, I can't make it. I'm not sure what gets you going.
Yeah.
What gets you involved with, the pressures of life.
Yeah, you gotta have faith.
You gotta have
you
it.
gotta believe it.
Faith of a mustard seed.
You gotta
That's
believe
right.
that God got your
I
back.
got that
You
right
hear me?
here. Faith of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
And you gave me a mustard seed too.
Everybody who gets a book from me, when I sign it, I assign a page that the Lord has touched me with to give to you, and I give you a mustard seed. And I always say, if your faith is small as a mustard seed, you ask God for whatever you want and whatever you need, but you got to ask him. He need to hear from you, and you'll get it. You just got to be patient. He's not on your time. You're not on his time. But when time prevails, you'll be happy and better off. You can't get in his way. You can't make something out of nothing. What they say, you can't get blood out of a turnip.
Can't do
My
it.
grandmother used to say that all the time.
We ain't know until we got a little older.
That's right. It's a lot of things that old people, let me correct myself, the elders used to say.
Don't say old people.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
That's why I had to change what I said.
We'll get there.
God's will, we're going to
We'll get there.
Well, I thank you all for listening to us today. Please continue to follow Out of the Mud, Inc., George F. Grundy II, and James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield. Link up with us all. If you want me to interview you, hit me up on Facebook. I got some words for you. Give us a call, 248-820-5053. Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Sergeant Trudell Kennedy?
We shooting for like 1 million hits, so tell somebody who
share,
knows somebody,
like, subscribe.
Out the Mud is out here. We got the Red Bone here. Great, one of the greatest podcasts out right now.
Yes.
She got this book out. You got to support. And I think if nothing else, man, we need to make sure we look at ourselves deeply and we support one another. This book is out. This podcast is out. Out the Mud is doing big things. If you want to get on, don't forget to get in touch with them.
All right. And Charlisa, you got anything you want to add before we?
As always, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Shout out to Charlisa and Out the Mud and Tradell Kennedy.
Red alert, red alert.
He got me connected with you.
I know.
Look, Tradell connected
all of us. That's why I said a lot of people got to know him. He's connected all of us. I'm so very thankful to have met you. And then I found out that my daughter is in your family as well. I'm very happy to meet you, Mr. Grundy, the second over there. You got it going on with this. I'm very happy to re-acknowledge myself with my fam over here.
You better believe it.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. All right, thank you so much for all the things you do to help assist in the community and all of that. But right now, till the next time.